General items is hosting of the State of California Type 2 Hazmat Response Vehicle in Yuba City and related training. Chief.
Good evening, Mayor Cleveland and members of the City Council. I'm happy to be here before you tonight to talk about some opportunities we have. So, why am I before you tonight? Really, I'm here tonight to enhance Yuba City Fire Department emergency response capability to the release of hazardous material instances either by rail, by ground transportation, or fixed facilities, which we have in our community. So I came before the council back in 2012 when we established, previously to 2012, each department worked independently in the area to deal with hazardous materials instances. Hazardous materials instances are very challenging for us. They're both labor intensive and can be very costly. So back in 2012, we created what was called WISHMRT, which stood for Yuba City Hazardous Materials Response Team. And the council approved that to join that team. And that team consisted of Yuba City Fire, Sutter County Fire, Marysville Fire, Linda Fire, Olivehurst Fire, Wheatland Fire, and Beale Air Force Base. So once that team was formed, there's two other teams in Northern California, what we call in Region 3, which is basically the 13 counties, Yuba and Sutter, north up to the Oregon border. There's 13 counties, and there's two other teams as well. One's in Butte, and one is in the Shasta team. They call it the SHMRT team. So between the 13 counties, the three of us provide level of hazardous materials safety and response. One of the challenges we're having with our hazardous materials equipment is it's becoming outdated. So if you look on the left, that's our current hazardous materials rig. It's a 1960 crew bus that we have. We have a lot of good equipment on it, but it's getting tired. What I'm proposing to you tonight is working with the State of California and the Office of Emergency Services to acquire our proposed hazardous material unit, which is the one on the right. That's not the exact same one. It looks just like that. It's just that's for going into another region, but it'll be the exact same unit. But that's what it'll look like. So we have an opportunity. We have an opportunity that I need approval from the council for two things. One is approval to go into an agreement with Cal OES to take possession of this hazardous materials unit. And also, they are also offering training to go along with it, which training is also very expensive for us. Just to give you an idea, to be on the hazardous materials team, it takes 6 weeks of basic training of 40 hours per week. So, and that can be very expensive for us to send people to that type of training. So it's about 240 hours before you can even be on a hazmat team at the entry level. So the state Type 2 Hazardous Materials Response Vehicle and training through the California Office of Emergency Services, also known as Cal OES. I'll be asking you tonight to adopt a resolution authorizing the Yuba City Fire Department to host the Type 2 Hazmat vehicle. I'm also going to be asking for authorization for myself to be able to effectuate the necessary documentation to have the state type hazardous materials response vehicle temporarily transferred to the Yuba City Fire Department. The thing to keep in mind is we'll be hosting it here at Yuba City Fire Department, but it'll belong to the entire team. So any one of the team members will be able to operate it. We've basically been serving the Yuba Sutter area with the team, but we've also helped out Colusa in the past, and we've also got an agreement with the Butte team and the Shasta team that if they have a large incident and need our assistance, we'll respond there, and they'll be reciprocal and respond to us as well. On the training side, I'm going to be asking for being allowed to go into contract with the state for the delivery of hazardous materials training to new members of our Yuba City hazmat team. So along with the vehicle comes training for 17 personnel. Of those 17 personnel, Yuba City will have 5. So we'll have 5, and then the rest of the members will be divided amongst the other departments I mentioned earlier. So we'll have roughly a third of the people, and the training will be from our department. So what's the fiscal impact on this? What's the catch, right? It's actually a pretty good deal, and that's why I'm before you tonight. So the state of California will cover all costs related to the state-initiated hazardous materials responses. So let me give you an example. We're pretty unique here in Yuba City Fire because we currently have 2 pieces of equipment from the state of California already. We have a fire engine, a Type 2 fire engine, and that's the one that we send out when they request it with our personnel to some of the wildland fires throughout the state of California or Nevada area. And that's through Office of Emergency Services, and we're fully reimbursed for that, so there's no cost for us. And then an advantage of having that is it's one less fire engine I have to buy. So it saves me on buying an additional fire engine. And we're allowed to use that engine when it's not being used out of the area. The other type of vehicle that we have is a trailer, Advanced Technical Rescue Trailer, we call it ATR trailer. That's another piece of the specialized equipment we have, and that particular trailer has a lot of specialized equipment for confined space, low angle and high angle rescue, collapsed buildings. It carries a lot of specialized equipment that we can use during earthquakes. We've used that trailer quite a bit here in town. Probably the most common reason we use, or most common time we use it, is when we have vehicles that crash into buildings. And we'll use our trailer and the equipment inside of it to shore up that building so we can get the vehicle out and get the victims out of the vehicle safely. So that trailer we have as well, and the catch with that is if there's an earthquake in the Bay Area or in Southern California, we would send a team of specialized people, a group of 5 people that we have trained to do that type of work with that trailer, which we'd also be fully reimbursed for. So the hazardous materials rig would fall along the same concept as the other 2 pieces of equipment that we have. So they're willing to pay for the training of 17 people. So some of the other fiscal impacts, which are not large, would be the only thing the vehicle does not come with is self-contained breathing apparatus, and those are the packs we wear on our back. And the reason it doesn't is because that's kind of specialized for each department. So they send all the equipment, about $300,000 worth of equipment comes on that unit. The unit itself is $500,000. So if I didn't have an opportunity to come before you tonight and say, hey, I have an opportunity for a new unit and the equipment, about an $800,000 value, at some point in the near future, when that crew bus isn't running anymore, I'd be coming to you and saying, we need to replace our hazardous materials unit. So the advantage of getting this unit allows us to not have to purchase one in the near future, just like we have the engine and just like we have the ATR trailer. So there's a savings there of about $500,000. The equipment, like I said, is about $300,000. The equipment's very specialized, it's very expensive. A lot of it is detection equipment and testing equipment and lab equipment. The SCBAs, or the self-contained breathing apparatus, we will have to purchase those. That's going to run us about $25,000 to $30,000, but I would have to do that anyway. So I have breathing apparatus in our current hazmat unit. When those are going to be replaced next year anyway, in 2018, I would have to buy those 5 packs for that unit anyway. So it's kind of a moot point, but I did want to mention that. The only other cost that we would incur with, not so much with the unit, but currently when we respond to hazardous materials calls within the city for ourselves, we do cost recovery. We do bill every incident that we get that's regarded to hazardous materials. The only time that we lose any funding for that is when we cannot get cost recovery, if we can't identify the RP or something like that. But that's the same as it is right now today. So even if I had that unit tomorrow, if we take it on a hazmat call in town, I'm going to do my best to get my cost recovery, but it's no different than if I went with the crew bus today. So it's not an added cost, but there's a cost associated with that if I can't find the proper responsible party. So with that, the last thing I have for you is just a little video that kind of gives a demonstration about HME, who manufactures the trucks. And so I'll let Terrell play that. No volume. I have to narrate, I guess. I do. I watch it at home. I got nothing going on. No, this is the actual unit that we're getting. It is made out of aircraft aluminum, the large part of it, because it's such a big unit. It's about 38 feet long. It has obviously a lighting system. It's all LED. Like I said, the unit itself is about $500,000. So let me give you a little background so it kind of makes a little, I should have started with this, and I apologize. The state of California recognized about 5 years ago, when we were having a lot of oil being delivered by rail, specifically Bakken oil. We were having a lot of incidents with rail incidences. And so the state of California decided what they would do is they would purchase 12 of these units throughout the state of California. So I'm talking all the way from Los Angeles to the Oregon border, 12 of these units. OES is divided into 6 regions in California. So what they decided to do was put 2 of these units in each region. So in our region, they've offered one here to Yuba City, and they've offered one to Susanville, which is the other region, or the other department. It's a little further north than us. So it's kind of a unique opportunity. That's not ours, by the way. You can stop it if you want. We kind of have a unique opportunity that there's only 12 of these in the state, and Yuba City has an opportunity to get one of them. And so I'm pretty proud of that. I've worked with Chief Zagaris, who's the Cal OES fire chief. He's excited about having it, providing us the opportunity for the unit and the training. And I think it will go well with our team. The Marysville has a unit. It's a little bit different, provides a different service. Linda has the decon trailer, Linda Fire Department, so it'll supplement nice with some of the equipment the other departments have. When we receive it, I'll definitely bring it by and at a council meeting so that everyone can see it. For a nominal fee, someone can drive it with, if you like, with lights and sirens. So, because I know Council Member Buckland always likes to ride in fire trucks. So that's what I have for you tonight. So I'm before you tonight to let me back up here. To ask you to adopt a resolution authorizing Yuba City Fire Department to host a State of California Type 2 hazmat response vehicle. Authorize the fire chief on behalf of the city of Yuba City to effect the necessary documentation to have the state type hazardous materials response vehicle temporarily transferred to the Yuba City Fire Department, and to contract with the state for the delivery of hazardous materials training to new members of the Yuba Center hazardous materials response team. And I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Through the mayor.
Mr. Buckland.
So I just want to know, was the win on rock, paper, or scissors on your part?
I'll take the fifth on that.
Oh. I'd move staff's recommendation to accept this.
Got a motion?
I'll second.
Got a second? One comment here. I do know that Councilmember Buckland likes to go really high in Japan on their their ladders. A couple years ago, he went up on the 30-meter one.
Which far exceeds Yuba City's, but we reciprocated and also put the mayor of Torday up in Yuba City's.
Yes.
And all you could say was, "Is this all?"
Yes, and it was, and then actually this year when I was there, I forgot to actually poke you on this. They have a brand new 35-meter, so they sent me 5 meters higher, and man, you do not know how that feels. It's and I'm not uncomfortable with heights, but that definitely sticking straight up in the air like that is a very interesting feeling. We could actually see from where we were the Tokyo Tower. We could see downtown Tokyo from that right there straight across. So that was an interesting feeling. With that, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Unanimous decision. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. And good job at making that happen.